Dr. Kohls, how does food influence our mood? I mean, why do we have cravings, and what's comfort food all about?
Right. Well, of course, our brain needs glucose, simple sugar. That's that's its main fuel. And all our body uses it too. So gradually, when we haven't had a meal for 6 to 8 hours, our blood sugar is being used up and it's going down. So at a certain point, we're approaching hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, and that's a potent stimulant for appetite. So we're hungry, we're famished, we're on the verge of getting hypoglycemic, which would cause you to be shaky and sweaty and weak, and you'd have to quickly go and eat some food just to replenish the blood sugar. Well, if we oversupply our blood with glucose, we get hyperglycemic. Our blood sugar goes up rapidly. When our blood sugar is high, we don't feel very good. When our blood sugar is low, we don't feel very good. We want it to be in a range where it's not too high and not too low. Well, the more refined the carbohydrate meal is, the higher the blood sugar is going to go faster, so it goes up fast. The glycemic index, there's certain foods that make the blood sugar go up real fast. Well, when the blood sugar goes up fast, then our insulin from the pancreas kicks in. High blood sugar is a stimulus to insulin. Insulin drives down blood sugar very fast. It also drives down most amino acids except for tryptophan. So those things are driven into the cells, and it may overshoot. So oftentimes people's insulin will be very high, it'll kick down the blood sugar very low, and all of a sudden we're hypoglycemic. When high blood sugar feel lousy, crash to hypoglycemia, and then we're sweaty and weak in the knees and famished, and we have to eat something. So we're doing this up and down, each time eating some more food, gaining weight, making more likely diabetes because it's the fat that disables the insulin. We may have high blood sugar, have normal insulin levels or even high insulin levels, and so we're not really hypoinsulinemic, typical way to explain diabetes. So we may just have high blood sugar because our insulin is disabled because of various factors, including too much fat, which disables the insulin from working well.
So too much fat and too much sugar influence our moods?
Or the stored up fat. The stored up fat then will kind of disable the insulin from being able to function.
The stored fat.
Yeah. So as far as the food is concerned, and then food like MSG, that makes us feel really alert and hyper. Maybe it's partly toxic when we're getting too much of it, but it's glutamic acid is an excitatory substance. It makes our brains really zippy.
Do some of these foods cause us to secrete dopamine?
Yes, dopamine. So caffeine or MSG or and nicotine also. Any psychostimulant, and I suppose mushrooms and cocaine and methamphetamine and effects there. But in the food supply, oftentimes there's caffeine. Caffeinated drinks are prevalent. All the energy drinks, have lots of caffeine, lots of sugar. They add a amino acid called taurine, which is an inhibitory amino acid, so that you can get all sorts of energy, but the taurine kind of suppresses the hyper adrenaline surge from the caffeine. So most of these energy drinks have lots of caffeine in there as well as sugar. And sugar gives us more energy. We can run faster for a while, but it might cause the crash of the blood
So that would be the
too.
dopamine rush.
The dopamine rush could be from the caffeine and nicotine and MSG.
Well, then what would be the serotonin? I feel so calm now. What would that come from? The carbohydrates?
Well, temporarily, yeah. And as we mentioned before, when we have a sugar load or a glucose load, the insulin drops that sugar down into the cells, but it also drops all the amino acids that compete with tryptophan. So we have this temporary relative increase in the serotonin levels in the blood, or tryptophan levels.
And that creates the pleasure chemicals?
Probably, yeah. Then you feel mellower, perhaps.
Right, calm down. It would calm stress.
Yeah.
So that would influence mood.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And when we're satiated, this tremendous, like after the classical Thanksgiving dinner, when you're eating lots of turkey, tryptophan goes up. and your serotonin will go up too. So certain foods that have tryptophan in it will give us kind of a serotonin mellowing kind of thing. So that could be a
So
comfort
you could
food.
self-medicate with food.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so self-medication might be wanting to feel high, or might want to feel mellow, and so some foods will do that. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Yeah.